32-14, the Cincinnati Bengals, who had lost 8 of their last 9.
Huh. That's interesting. Big Deep News. Good Thanksgiving, huh?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm sorry. Can't help myself of trying to be somewhat of an optimist here while things are looking bleak for Steeler Nation, while we're complaining and the negative energy is at an all-time high. I'm making hats that say non-losing season champions. Chiefs lost yesterday. Ravens lost yesterday. We have a better record than both of those teams. I see this tweet on Twitter, and it's hard for me to disagree with what my man's saying here. Sam Block at the block spot. Chiefs are 6-6. Ravens are 6-6. You don't trust the Patriots. Don't trust the Broncos. Don't trust the Colts. Like, all those quarterbacks. I mean, Drake May, of those three teams, seems to be the more elite, but we haven't even seen him in a playoff game yet. And we talked about the Patriots offense, how they're lacking weapons. Broncos and Bo Nix, I don't think he's that good. Colts, Danny Dimes, we're seeing him come back down to earth. That Cinderella story is looking more and more like a flop. And then Bills inconsistent, Texans inconsistent, Chargers inconsistent. Steelers, yes, we are inconsistent. We know that. We've made that very, very clear on this show. Jaguars are inconsistent. Who's going to win the AFC? Could this be the year where, Steelers are just best of the worst, best of the inconsistent?
We got good opponents on the schedule, the last 6. We have 3 division games, so there's a lot in front of us.
I don't know, because I don't think it's too far of a stretch for us to win this week against the Bills. I really don't. Defense, really not that good. And they're banged up. And Steelers are at home, coming off of a bad loss where the sky is falling, backs up against the wall. This feels like a Tomlin type of win, where we get some cushion for our 10-7, 9-8 record. But maybe this is the year where 10-7, 9-8 is good enough because of just how the playoffs are going to play out with these teams that are going to make it, and just how you don't trust anyone, and there's inconsistencies all around with these teams. It's like, we'll see.
I think this is a time where the focus maybe has to go up a little bit more, and the serious approach needs to maybe tighten up a little bit more. I love what a loose team we are, but sometimes you got to maybe crank that thing up just to maybe 1% and get a little bit more locked in.
What if this is really one of those weird years where it's up for grabs? Because it was already a weird year going in. Just the fact that Aaron Rodgers is on the Steelers. Mac Jones is like on the 49ers and playing halfway decent. Danny Dimes playing halfway decent with the Colts. Like all this, quarterback carousel around the league. Like if you would have said, yeah, this was going to happen, that's going to happen back in like 2020 for the 2025 season. Like no one would have believed you. So this was already a weird year, so it may be appropriate that the Chiefs missed the playoffs and the Ravens missed the playoffs and the AFC is absolutely wide open. And 10-7, 9-8 is actually good enough, and you feel like you do have a real chance because all the teams that you're competing with in the AFC playoffs are all over the place too, and you just don't know what to expect on a game-in and game-out basis. So what if? What if we actually hit our stride in December here? We become a team. It hasn't looked perfect up to this point, but look at all these other teams around the league. It's not perfect with them either. I still think it does come down to quarterback play, though. Elite quarterback play. That's what gets it done in the playoffs. You need a quarterback that is consistent for 3-4 games in a row that you can count on. And Rodgers has given us that to an extent this year. We still want the offense in him to take it up another level. Could this be the start at home against the Bills this week where we start to find this identity and we hit our stride at the right perfect time, December, heading into the playoffs? Hey, you never know. But actually, this leads me into what I wanted to get into before the Steelers-Bills preview. Last topic for the show. This one is something I hinted at yesterday that I wanted to talk about. It's like one of those conversations you have with your friends over a beer or something at a bar. This was posted on Twitter by Steelers reporter Alan Sanders. He came up with this question. I thought it was interesting. Who would you rather be going forward as a franchise? Steelers, Bengals, Browns. Didn't include the Ravens because he must have assumed everyone would definitely say the Ravens because they're a more competent franchise than both the Bengals and Browns, and they have the franchise quarterback with Lamar Jackson, so just left them out of it. Steelers, Bengals, Browns. What franchise would you rather be going forward? I think we can just throw the Browns out of it because the Browns are the Browns and they're just dysfunctional, just all over the place. But I think it's a serious conversation between the Steelers and the Bengals. I even posed the question just for fun yesterday at Thanksgiving with some of my family. I'm like, who would you rather be? And the sad part is, all of them said the Bengals. All of them did. And you know why? Because they have Joe Burrow, because they have Jamar Chase, because they have an actual offense. And you saw yesterday what can happen when Joe Burrow is healthy. Yeah, they're one of the best teams in the AFC. That's a team that no one in the AFC wants to mess with when the playoffs come around. So, like, Steelers, are we at that level? I don't know. Like, where you feel like you could do that on a week in and week out basis. You have a chance to play with any team in the league because you got that guy. You got that franchise guy, Joe Burrow. I mean, can we say that? Doesn't feel like it. But in terms of this year, with the Bengals being 3-8 and put themselves or 4-8 now, I guess, put themselves behind the 8 ball to actually make the playoffs, let alone win the AFC North, you could definitely argue Steelers over Bengals just for this season. But going forward, as like your franchise and where the baseline is and what your foundation is, it's like, bro, I would just take having Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. You got your offense set up, and that's what I think takes to be competitive in 2025. You either have to have an elite franchise quarterback, so you got a chance no matter what because of that, or you got to have a savvy offensive guru guy like a Sean McVay, Shanahan, that can take a guy that's maybe average or so and make them into a top 10 quarterback, and you give them the right surroundings and a defense a la Brock Purdy with the 49ers or like Jared Goff with the Lions. Now, those guys still haven't won a Super Bowl, but they've made it to Super Bowls, and sometimes it's a play or two in a Super Bowl that goes the other team's way, like the Chiefs. Like the 49ers, Brock Purdy played good, and it's just that the Chiefs had Mahomes, and he was doing magical stuff. Like, they could have easily won that Super Bowl. So those are the two formulas I think that make you competitive in the NFL in 2025. And do the Steelers have either of those things right now? No. So I'd rather take the Bengals situation than the Steelers situation. I said it at the end of last year after we lost that wild card game. Unfortunately, it's just the state of where we're at. Even though we had the better record, even though we made the playoffs last year, who was the more dangerous team at the end of the season? It was the Bengals. It was because of Joe Burrow. Just flat out. None of those other teams in the AFC playoffs wanted to face the Bengals. All of them were fine playing us. So that goes to tell you something. It's just that Joe Burrow can't stay healthy. And if we want to talk about the Bengals, that they're dysfunctional and they don't have a defense, they don't have anything to protect Joe Burrow, yeah, that's the case. But if they could be timely enough, you see what Joe Burrow can do and how he can elevate the team, because that's what happened at the end of last year. They started to get their shit together to some extent where the defense was playing average enough and timely enough that they could give Joe Burrow at least some sort of wiggle room. They went on a 5-game winning streak, and they were the more dangerous team compared to us. Like, we don't have that ceiling right now, it feels like. We don't. We might have enough of a ceiling, though, for this season because of how crazy this AFC is. We might have enough of a ceiling, but going forward, what's our foundation? What's our structure? Do we have all the right pieces in place to be contenders year in and year out in the AFC? I think there's a question mark there. Whereas with the Bengals, at least they got Joe Burrow. At least I think, and same thing with the Ravens. Ravens, you got Lamar Jackson. Jackson, Burrow, they're going to be top 4 or 5 quarterbacks for the next 5 or 6 years. You're taking that. You're just taking that. No questions asked over any uncertainty that could be going on with the Steelers over these next however many years, trying to find your franchise quarterback, trying to find an offensive coach or an offensive guru to coach them up and develop them to be the quarterback / leader of an actual competitive team. I don't know if the Steelers got that. And you could talk about Burrow's injuries. That's definitely something to bring up. But his injuries are weird. It's not like the same injury, like a chronic injury that keeps happening. It's all these weird ones. First it was ACL. Like, that happens. Dudes come back from that at a way better clip now than what it was back in the day. And that happened in Burrow's rookie year. And obviously he's been all-world since then. And the throwing thing, the hand thing, and then he has a turf toe. So, I don't know. I think that's just been bad luck with him. You could definitely argue he's been injury prone because it's been happening, but I don't know. I think you can assume it's not going to be one injury that's hampering him down over the next 4 or 5 years. I think it's about the offense. I think it's about the quarterback in 2025. I think it is. And once you have that guy, you have that franchise guy, or you have an offensive system in place that can elevate quarterback, everything around him on offense, and at least have a timely defense. It's like that's what you want. That's what you want. Because even if your defense is so-so, if they could be timely enough. And that's the thing, too. When your offense is setting the tone, when your offense is the main thing, the defense feeds off of that. They start to have belief because you know your offense can put up points if you just give them a chance. Your offense can score in a snap of a finger. Your offense can keep you in a game. Your offense can come back from 2 scores in the second half. As long as you could just stay afloat. It's just like that one turn of, all right, offense is going to take advantage just because you have that guy. You have that guy at quarterback, or you have the system in place where you have guys getting open. You got a good running system. Whatever it is that comes with having a McVay, a Shanahan, those type of guys. Question marks at both of those spots for the Steelers 2026 going forward. Like, just, it is what it is. It's sad to say, but unfortunately, I think it is the truth. Let me know in the comments, though. Let me know what you guys think. Steelers versus Bengals 2026 going forward. What team would you rather, or not what team, obviously we're Steelers, like, we're going to be Steeler fans till we die. It's just like, what situation would you rather have? We'll put it to you that way. Let's get to this Steelers-Bills preview, I guess. First, we'll go over the injury report and what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be good to go. He's starting, so that's good. I'm pumped about that. And we'll be getting Alex Highsmith back, full participant in practice, doesn't have an injury designation for the upcoming matchup. Now, on the Bills side, we got some news that's going to be favorable for the Steelers. Both their starting tackles are going to be out, Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown, along with one of their starting linebackers, Terrell Bernard. You could argue he might be the best of the bunch with the Bills up there in their linebacking core. And then Curtis Samuel, who really hasn't done much for the Bills, he's been rolled out too. And you look at this tweet from Schefter, Josh Allen was sacked a career high 8 times last week. So we know where our money is. It's on the defense. TJ Watt, Highsmith's going to be back. Herbig's been balling out. We should be getting pressure on Josh Allen. We should be making things uncomfortable for him. But first, we got to stop the run game because James Cook, and we know obviously Josh Allen can do some things with his legs too. Less about design quarterback runs, although they'll do it in short yardage situations, obviously. But we got to be able to contain Josh Allen. We've seen how that could really hurt our defense when we can't do that with a mobile quarterback a la Justin Herbert with the Chargers. So that's the goal, I think, to start off, make them a little bit one-dimensional, stop their running game. We see what our defense looks like whenever teams are able to get things going on the ground. It's tough. It's really tough. And they got a good running attack with James Cook. He's one of the best running backs in the league. And they're going to want to run the ball. Obviously, Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. But when they get things going on the ground, like, he'll go games where he's not passing too much. So that's what the Bills, I think, want to do. They want to help out Josh Allen as much as possible because his weapons are lacking. There's a reason they picked up Brandon Cooks from free agency, and they're hoping that he's going to be capable of doing something for them, not only in this game, but for the rest of the season because it's looking bleak. Outside of Khalil Shakir and their tight end, Dalton Kincaid, they don't have much. I think Dalton Kincaid's actually questionable for this upcoming matchup as well. He's been banged up. So, like, stop the run game, make them one-dimensional, make it an uncomfortable environment for Josh Allen. He's been turning the ball over, and you're going to give yourself a chance to win in this game. And then on offense versus the Bills' defense, just run the ball. Let's focus on running the ball, keeping Rodgers comfortable. It's basically the opposite of what I said of our defense and what I want them to do against the Bills. It's like we want to run the ball because the Bills' defense sucks at stopping the run. And keep it clean, keep Rodgers comfortable. But, like, I think that will go a long way in this one coming up. Bills' defense is really bad, at stopping the run. And I don't think their cornerbacks or secondary is that good either. You look at the stats, though, they're one of the better teams in the league for like yards given up and pass defense and all that. I think that's mainly just because of how bad their run defense is. Offenses are like, yeah, we're just going to keep sticking with the run until you stop it. Less about the Bills' defense or secondary being that much of a threat. But against our offense with the weapons that we have, I mean, we don't really have anyone that they should be scared of at this point. Like DK, that's it. But they're going to double him and do the same thing that all these other defenses are doing. They're going to double DK, put attention there. And then these other guys for us, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, the tight ends, it's like they're not dynamic enough to be getting open. Now, there's arguments that Roman Wilson is open. We're just not featuring him. We're targeting someone else. Rodgers is getting the ball out too quick and not going through his reads and getting it to Roman Wilson. There's an argument for that, but until we actually get him some production and there's more of a trust going on between quarterback and receiver with Wilson, then it's just like, he's a non-factor really. He's not something that the defense should be worrying about that much. So you know what it is from an offensive standpoint, the things that we want to do more, get Jalen Warren the ball. Kenneth Gainwell's been doing good for the times that he's been getting it recently. Get Darnell Washington the ball. And hope some of these other receivers can get open and take less attention off DK Metcalf. So hopefully that happens this week against the Bills. I got us winning. What's a good score? I got us winning. Yeah, there's going to be a turnover or two we get. I think we win this game. Like, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. It's going to give us a little bit of a cushion for the non-losing season. So all we're going to have to do is beat the bad teams after this one, like the Dolphins and the Browns. We'll be at least 9-8 because I saw some of the comments about the hats. Some of you were saying that these hats are going to be irrelevant after this year. This is going to be the first losing season for the Steelers and Tomlin over the last couple decades. We're going to win. I think we're going to win like 27, like 17, 27, 20. I think 27-20, 27-21, something like that. Let me know your scores, predictions, all that stuff down in the comments. So that's it for today's show on a Black Friday. I'm actually missing the game. There's a good game going on right now, Bears-Eagles. So I'm going to edit this video up, throw that game on, and you guys will see this probably within an hour or two. So stay chilling. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.